Staying on top of breaking news, we have a coyote on top of the Luminary Hotel in downtown Fort Myers, stuck there on the ledge of the parking garage. Gulf Coast News reporter Dave Elias is live there as first responders try to get that coyote down. Dave?
Yeah, we're giving you a unique advantage here from the Sky Bar, which is almost parallel to the Luminary Hotel. Take a look at this. I've been doing broadcast news for 38 years, and I'll tell you, this is probably the most bizarre thing I have ever seen. A coyote stuck out on a ledge of the second floor of the Luminary Hotel. Now, this is actually the parking garage. No idea how that coyote managed to get there. I have been told by onlookers that the coyote has now been out there for a couple of hours. I have seen the coyote panting, turning his head like this as he hears noises. He's a bit skittish. He's in a very bizarre situation right now, certainly out of his element. I can tell you that in the last half hour, a fire truck arrived with a lift, and it's likely they're going to try to bring that lift up to the coyote. Now, I just talked a few moments ago with a coyote expert who is on scene, and he tells me that it's becoming more frequent that he removes these coyotes from neighborhoods, but he has never seen anything like this and can't even imagine how the coyote was able to wander out onto that ledge. It has been standing there still. It almost looks as though it's a stuffed animal at times. It didn't look real when I first arrived here. It has certainly created quite a crowd of people. They've got the area below the Luminary all roped off with the crime scene tape as people take pictures. The police are here. And I am told just a few moments ago that they are waiting for an animal control expert to get here, survey this situation, and try to find a way to get that coyote off of the second floor ledge without harming the coyote. So that's basically the situation as it unfolds here in downtown Fort Myers. Again, we are giving you a very unique perspective. We are on the second floor of the Sky Bar downtown. So we get a very good look at this coyote that just stands there, and as you can see, it keeps checking to see what's going on behind it. I have a feeling it's just a little bit afraid of heights, and you can imagine every now and then he's moving his legs, probably very exhausted. Standing up there. If you guys have any questions,
Dave,
I'll be glad to talk with you.
Yeah, Dave, can you hear me? Is that he's peeking his head over something? Is that a railing right there? We can't see it from our vantage point. Is that a railing that he's looking over?
No, there is no railing there, Kelly. It is actually a ledge. It's a triangle ledge shaped much like a triangle. So I can tell you from where I'm standing, if you get a close-up of the coyote's feet, I mean, they are literally less than an inch from the edge of that ledge right there. So he has very little room at all to move. In fact, I would tell you that if he moves barely to his right, he's likely going to fall and not survive that hit on the pavement below.
Dave, is that the parking garage right there? Did you tell us that? I'm sorry I didn't hear. Is that the parking garage of the hotel?
Yes, that is the Yes, Kelly, that is the second floor of the parking garage. You know, I would say there's a ledge in the parking garage, probably about 4 feet tall. It looks as though the coyote maybe would have jumped over that 4-foot ledge that you see surrounding the parking garage. And there are wires up there, obviously, to keep people from falling over. So there are some metal wires there. The coyote now sticking his head over those wires as he tries to inch closer to that parking garage. Now, I've got to assume by now that they have evacuated the parking garage for fear that coyote may try to jump over those wires and get back into the parking garage where he likely came from.
It's incredible because you mentioned how small that ledge is. So, I mean, if he would have jumped over to get there, yeah, he doesn't have any room minutes to
So
go.
let's set the scene. The parking garage in downtown Fort Myers, that you go up a ramp to get inside the Luminary parking garage.
Okay,
It's next
that's
to the lobby.
there. The
There he
coyote
goes.
just
There he
jumped.
goes.
The coyote just jumped. Yes, he is now in the parking garage, looking around, wondering how he's going to get out of here. So it might not be a good idea for folks standing on the ground right now, because it's likely he's going to come out of one of the exits here.
It's incredible. We saw him make it over just now. It's live TV for you, and that's right above Ella Mae's. Is that correct, Dave? The diner?
Yes, right above Ella Mae's restaurant. Yes, the diner. And I can tell you that right now, police and firefighters are circling the building here, and they are trying to go to some of the exit points where that coyote is likely to be running out of the building. So we have one entry point that you can see. You're looking out now. It's possible that's one of at least two that I know of, maybe three exits or entries where he could come out of the actual parking garage.
Looks like they've cleared the crowd away. There was a little, when you were with us at the top of the hour, or about half hour ago, there were people standing around, and it looks like they've cleared everyone away from the sidewalks. Is that correct?
Well, they have cleared everybody from this portion of the sidewalk, but if I can have my photographer, Tim, well, you actually see some police now going into the parking garage. The fire truck now also, sorry about this, the fire truck also now moving down the street to the entrance of the parking garage. So let's see if it's going to try to block the entrance. For concern, the coyote could come out this direction.
There's an entrance
And
on the
no,
other side.
They actually are going to pass that. I would assume that's, well, there they go. So maybe they're going to circle the block. That's what I'm assuming. It looks as though they're going to go down to the next block and circle to that other entry point. So if we have someone else here, I believe Ismail, maybe he'll want to go down to that end to see if we can get that side, the river side of the entrance. Maybe we would be able to get somebody there. We are sending a photographer there right now as we speak to look at that end to see if the coyote comes out there. But now the question is, where will he come out and where will he go if he does make it out?
Yeah, we see some people walking in the streets down there. Dave, kind of set the scene for people. There's not like a big preserve nearby in downtown Fort Myers. It's interesting to see where this coyote may have come from, because it's not like there's a big park or preserve in the middle of downtown Fort Myers that maybe he called home.
No, Kelly, that's what's so bizarre. I mean, you know, you're looking at brick streets. There is no wooded area here. He would almost had to have wandered into the downtown and somehow gotten into the parking garage. Perhaps he smelled food from Ella Mae's. I don't know. But again, people are asking how this possibly happened. I told you I talked with a coyote expert who said he can't even imagine how it got out there or why it chose that ledge. But after standing there for a couple of hours, he was able to jump and take off in the parking lot. And as far as we know, he is in that parking garage right now. In fact, we can start to see the fire truck coming out the other side of the street now, down by the river. So it would appear as though they are circling, I would assume, looking for the coyote. And you can see there are still people here on the streets. And I guess right now this just remains a mystery as to where the coyote disappeared to. He could even be hiding in that parking garage right now.
Yeah, we do have multiple crews there, so hopefully we will catch that moment when the coyote does make it out. I mean, you would think it would have walked up the ramp and then jumped over to the ledge just the same way we saw it jump back into the parking garage. So maybe it thought that was the way out, didn't know that was the second floor.
Right. All right, Dave, thanks for your coverage. We appreciate it, and we'll let you get maybe to the other side of the parking garage so you can capture what is happening with it now. But again, we had a coyote on a ledge outside the parking garage of the downtown Luminary Hotel, stranded for a couple of hours, and it looks like the coyote at least is safe.
Yeah, we did see it jump right off that ledge back into the parking garage. So we'll stay on top of this for you, bring you updates as soon as we get them.